nonsensical nonsense, the wildest insanities, and the weirdest theories and unsubstantiated stories. So they go through, there's a chart here, and they're trying to decide who is the worst. And I'm just going to go over some of the people that are in this. From the cable side, Rachel Maddow. See, nonstop collusion rants came to naught. So is she the winner of the worst? Anna Navarro, who was with the Romney team, but now she's a pundit. She's a conservative spokesperson on CNN. Quote, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, and it's beginning to look a lot like collusion, she had said. Is she the winner? John Oliver, a scandal with all the potential ramifications of Watergate. You better stay with HBO and quit predicting things. Donnie Deutsch, Donald Trump has been owned by the Russians because of money. The money made him do it. Hey, Donnie, he didn't do it. Morning schmo. The noose is tightening. John Brennan, national security analyst, MSNBC. Friday, March 8th is the day that the grand jury indictments come down. Don Lemon, the walls are coming in. Bill Kristol, Mr. Never Trump, Mr. Collusion, Mr. Wrong. Let's see on the network side. You had Alec Baldwin. You have, Jimmy Kimmel. You have Joy Behar. He goes to jail. He goes to jail. He goes to jail. Your view is way off, Joe Behar. Mike Alvanetti, you're going to jail. At least, then you got the Twitter experts. Alyssa Milano launched a site to hold the Trump administration accountable for collusion with Russia. Do. Kathy Griffin, just shut the F up and prepare for prison. Do. Robert De Niro acted out Lev Mueller's fantasies on SNL. Wonder who the worst is of here. Well, you can check it out. Just go over to the, like I said, the New York Post, and you will see their little chart on who is the biggest, who got it wrong the most. I don't know, but I would say Maddow, don't you think? I would put her probably in at least a championship. Yeah. They said the second spot, well, according to this one, top among the Twitter is, this is all the Benjamin people. Let's see, Harvard law professor Lawrence Tribe, who traded his stellar academic reputation for anti-Trump crankery in July 2017, tweeted that the senior Democrats say there's evidence of both collusion and obstruction. You can take it to the bank. Trump beware. But Tribe's collusion checks bounced. Wow, that's terrible. Well, like I was saying, the left, their celebrities believed the news, so they were out there just being absurd, obnoxious, know-it-alls. Well, here's an article from the Gateway Pundit. Celebrities lose their minds after Mueller exonerates President Trump. Limousine liberals, many of whom are in the advanced stages of Trump derangement syndrome, TDS, have suddenly forgotten that they once loved Robert Mueller. It's the same thing that happened with Jim Comey. When James Comey was FBI director, they hated him. Remember during the election? Well, we're getting close, but there's more information found, and I've got to make sure that we know about it. But then he said, well, we went ahead, we found the new emails on Huma's computer and Wiener's computer, and we, in 2 days, went through all of them, and no big deal. And then, no reasonable prosecutor would prosecute Hillary, so she's not going to be prosecuted for her email server and for mishandling classified documents. So they loved him. They hated him, then they loved him. Now they love him. Well, when Mueller was starting to really go after President Trump, and during the 2 years, Mueller, just like they said about Comey, impeccable, unspeakable, great reputation, masterful prosecutor. Well, here's the problem. the experts, the Hollywood, it says the special counsel, they hoped, would once and for all find evidence that President Trump colluded with Russia to sway the 2016 election his way. But after 2 years of inquiry and tens of millions of dollars, Mueller didn't find diddly, and said so, at least according to a summary of the report's findings. That set off the glitterati, who went bonkers after the findings were released on Sunday. Here you go. Bette Midler. Mueller's report finds no evidence showing Trump's team of collusion with Russia, but stopped short of exonerating Trump of obstruction of justice. Knowing Trump, he probably tried to do exactly that. 2 more years of chaos, race baiting, grifters, con artists, shame, fear, sad. Because Mueller just dropped the ball. A couple of so-called comedians lost their minds. Let's see. Sarah Silverman. Great news. There was no collusion with Russia by the president. Now he can focus on finding, disabling, and punishing those who work for Russia to attack the U.S. elections. Now that's a national emergency worth skipping golf for. You so funny. Chelsea, I am totally screwed up in the head, Chandler. I will admit my feelings for Mueller are conflicted now, and my sexual attraction to him is in peril. God. You remember this is the weasel that gave away our secrets, that then said he is now a girl, and that he has he's turned on by Robert Mueller. But I still believe there's a lot more to come, and we must all march in the streets if we don't see that report. Other funny people piled on. Let's see, who's this? Bill Eichner? Billy? Do not imagine a world where they would be able to indict Aunt Becky before Donald Trump. Alyssa Milano. Well, if there's nothing in the report, why don't they just release it? And if the report fully exonerates him and his family, he'd have it all out in seconds, wouldn't he? Well, ding dong. The Attorney General releases it, not the president. He has no say in it. Attorney General Barr did his summary. Now they're going to go through and determine what needs to be redacted, what is secret, top secret, or classified, or executive privilege. Then he'll release what he can. But Hollywood is clueless. So they have to come out because their poster boy, just like Comey, let him down. It's a strange America that we live in, because social media has enabled totally inept, incoherent, unaware actors and singers to influence people. It's very strange. And then the left has this weird propensity to be able to go, we are so right. Oh, we're so wrong. But it's okay because there's more to it, and just blah, blah, blah. Don't look at me, and deflect. Now, there is bad news, because while all this is going on, we're getting invaded. People are pouring across the border. And I'll try to get to that before we're done here. So, to summarize, if you're just joining us, this is The Informant. My name is Eric Thompson. Is that the left has lost its mind because the media and all their pundits and all their experts were completely wrong about the Mueller report, just like they were wrong about the 2016 election. And Hollywood, which has been sticking their foot in their mouth, is totally eating a lot of shoe, and they just don't know how to deal with it. And we went over from the New York Post the Mueller Madness chart, and I think that I'm going to have to give it to Rachel Maddow for probably being, her or Don Lemon or the Morning Schmo, probably the winner of the worst reporting of the fake Russian collusion story. Now, the Daily Caller had an article out. The media's Russian bombshells look even worse now that Mueller found no collusion. His list is CNN accusers Don Jr. of WikiLeaks collusion. That was a big flop. ABC tanks stock market with fake Flynn news. The mooch is not under investigation. Scaramucci, they said he was going to get busted, but it didn't happen. Bloomberg's dirty little Deutsche Bank scoop, that didn't happen. Sessions exonerated, and Republicans funded the dossier. That wasn't true. On and on and on. Did Cohen go to Prague? Well, he's going to jail. He just needs to go away. All right. There's so much that I can go over with you, but I don't want to belabor it. Because there's articles here. Breitbart, Trump team hits Democrats over crushed Russia collusion claims. So you can go down this list here. Wall Street Journal. Let's see, what did they have out here? As soon as it loads, we've got Rand Paul is now saying we need to look backwards, just like President Trump said earlier. Now let's go back and find out who actually started all this. Wall Street Journal, time for Obama and admin to account for historic abuse of power, government surveillance powers. Wall Street Journal assistant editor James Freeman and Senator Rand Paul are on the same page. The Mueller report confirms it is now time for the Obama administration to account for its flagrant abuse of surveillance powers of the federal government. While the Democrats and other members of the resistance fell about in the wake of the news of Robert Mueller's investigation that it did not find evidence of President Trump's campaign conspired or coordinated, Freeman observed Monday that the report confirms it is former President Barack Obama who owes the country an explanation for his administration's historic abuse of government surveillance powers. Question for you. Do you think that this is going to play all the way back and justice is going to be served? Or do you think it's just going to throw some dust up, freak some people out, Obama will hide behind executive privilege, and there'll be a few more scapegoats, and it will go away? Because, see, the thing about it is President Trump is already getting ready to run for re-election. Then he'll be in his second term. Then we have to deal with the wall and everything else still, and I have some good news on that. So here's an article, Rand Paul, time to investigate Obama officials who spread the Russian hoax. Okay. And last thing on this story. MSM journalists turn on Obama CI Director John Brennan. Why? Because Brennan has a lot to answer for, because he said for sure, he suggested he had secret information and that President Trump definitely was going to get busted for collusion. It's interesting how that works out. Washington Times has another article too, and this is what he said. Listen to this. Ex-CIA chief officers on Trump, I don't know if I received bad information. Okay. He's the man. Until found out he had no idea what he was talking about. Now it's like, well, it's not my fault if I was given bad information. Now, with all of this being said, there's an article here from Yahoo News. Democrats move on to Plan B with Mueller finding no collusion. So Robert Mueller's final report robbed Democrats of what they hoped would be a devastating blow to President Donald Trump. And after defending the special counsel's integrity for more than a year, they have little room to challenge his conclusion that there was no conspiracy between Trump's campaign and Russia in the 2016 election. Yet even before the special counsel's 22-month probe ended, Democrats were already working on a Plan B to undermine Trump going into 2020 through investigations led by House committees that now under their control. We're going to move forward with our investigation of obstruction of justice, abuse of powers, corruption, to defend the rule of law, which is our job. House Judiciary Chairman Gerald Nadler said Sunday at a news conference in New York, it's a broader mandate than the